Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Troxtel, and today I want to provide you with a brief overview of my Peace Corps experience, of why I joined the Stevenson Center at Illinois State University to get my master's degree, and then a little bit about my fellowship through my master's program. So to give you a little background information, I'm from Wixom, Michigan, and I have a bachelor's degree in public health education and health promotion with a minor in nutrition. Right after my undergrad, I signed up for the Peace Corps, where I went to Ethiopia and I served for 27 months. And then I came back for a year. I took some time off, and then I applied to some grad schools, and I got into Illinois State University, where I'm currently working on my master's degree through the School of Kinesiology and Recreation, focusing on community and economic development. I also added in a Women and Gender Studies certificate. It's kind of a mouthful to say, so a lot of people have been asking me, what exactly do you do with a degree in kinesiology and recreation and community development? And I look at it from a couple different ways. So the first way is from a global perspective. I look at the Paralympics and the Olympics, and I look how countries come together to have a healthy competition over sports. It creates camaraderie among the citizens in each country, and it just brings communities together. And then at a more local level, I think of it as how healthy is a community. Does the community have a lot of people with high risk of diabetes and obesity, or what kind of health problems are there? And then what's the reason for these health problems? Is it a low income area? Is it a food desert? Do they not have access to recreational facilities? So what's the reason for these health complications? And then from there, I see what kind of resources are available within that community and how we can hone in on those resources and make people more aware of those, or if we need to get other people from other communities to come in and kind of train people on how to do certain things in their communities. So that's kind of my degree in a nutshell. I want to go back to my Peace Corps experience now. So as I said, I served in Peace Corps Ethiopia. I was there for 27 months. Fun fact, I never left the country until Ethiopia. So it was a very, very new experience for me. And I embraced it fully. I kind of didn't really know what to expect when I got there. One of the hard things was definitely leaving my family, my friends, and just everything I knew about America for a whole new country where I didn't speak the language, I didn't know anybody, and I just had to work and live there for 27 months. So that was definitely one of the hardest things about leaving for Peace Corps. But some of the other challenges that I experienced while there was just trying to work with different counterparts and make projects successful and implement projects. First year started out kind of slow, but after a while I found a great counterpart named Root, and together we worked on a permagarden project for the elderly seniors, and then a permagarden project for people with disabilities. And basically we taught them how to garden on a small scale so that they can take it to their homes and they can do these gardens at home and have fresh fruits and vegetables there. So I kind of incorporated my health background into the garden trainings and whatnot, which was a great experience. Another quick kind of fun story, while I was there, a lot of people thought, since I was a foreigner, I had a lot of money, so at first that was hard to work through to try to explain to people that I don't have a lot of money and that's not what I'm here for. But people were giving me these grant proposals asking for millions of dollars, and it'd all be on a half page of paper. And I was like, what? How can you submit a grant that's only a half page asking for that kind of money? And that's when I realized that we should do some project design and management trainings, which I recently just got trained on while I was there. So I ended up doing a couple of trainings, and from there I was working with people to set up goals and objectives and just some different strategic plans so that they can make their dreams a reality and that they can submit these proposals to organizations that are offering grants and that they can be self-sustainable. So that was a really cool project. There were about 4 or 5 projects that came from that, which was just an awesome experience. So my Peace Corps experience definitely taught me to be extremely patient, flexible, and adaptable. I just never knew what the day was going to hold, who was going to want to work together, what kind of experiences would come from that. And those 3 skills have led me to where I am today as well. I'm still using it through my graduate program. I applied to Illinois State University to get my master's degree, and during the summer I was told that I would be teaching in the Active for Life program. I didn't really know exactly what that all entailed. I knew that I'd be teaching 1 credit hour classes to some college students, but I didn't understand from a full perspective what that meant until I got here, and I realized that I was the teacher of these 4 credit hour classes. Each one was 1 credit hour, so I was teaching indoor cycling, aerobics, weight training, and then adventure education. And I had a great supportive staff that really helped out. A lot of these classes were taught before, so there are already some sample syllabus and course outlines and stuff like that I could pull from, but I kind of had to tailor it to meet my class's needs. So every 8 weeks I got new classes that I had to teach. So it was just this constant learning and adapting to every group that came in addition to taking my 4 classes each semester. And then the other thing that was interesting to work with was the adventure education class that I taught. That class hasn't been taught in 15 years, and I was given the responsibility to, within 1 week, redesign and vamp the whole curriculum and create the whole class. So I did that, and the first semester there were about 12 kids that partook in it, and then by the second semester it jumped to 30 kids. So I doubled in participants, and it was just a really great, fun experience. I just worked with the resources that I had available to me, and I did a lot of partnering with the rec center and to make it a successful class. And then in addition to having a lot of great support from the Kinesiology and Recreation Department, I had a lot of great support from the Stevenson Center, because me and another fellow classmate were the first 2 individuals to participate in the Kinesiology and Recreation track of the Community Development Program that the Stevenson Center offers. So we were kind of the guinea pigs, and we were just constantly giving different feedback, and everyone in the Stevenson Center was extremely helpful, and they kind of let me add things on, like the Women and Gender Studies certificate. They just provided a lot of opportunities and support to make sure that my experience was what I wanted to make of it. I was also able to add on an inclusion recreation class and make that a graduate level class, which was fantastic. It was right up my alley. And then like I said, the Women and Gender Studies certificate. So it was a great program, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody. Also, one of my favorite classes that I took through the Stevenson Center was the Community and Economic Development class. That really gave me perspective on how a community functions at all different levels, and I've been able to apply what I've learned from that class to my current internship, which is at the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee. So I got to move to Milwaukee, which has been a fantastic experience, and I am considered to be their health recreation liaison. Basically, the Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee was awarded a $30 million grant from HUD, and they're working on an area within a 3-mile radius. There's some low-income housing there, and they have already demolished one side and built up to make it a mixture of low-income housing and market rate housing. And on the other side of the street, they're doing the same thing. So they're relocating a bunch of families. They have caseworkers that are strategically working with each family to make sure that the residents are still connected with jobs, their kids are still going to the same schools, and just everything that's needed when you have to unfortunately uproot a family. So my main goal there is to work with the different communities in the area to come together and create some recreational resources, some health resources. So I have worked with the University of Milwaukee nursing staff, and together we have come up with some cooking classes, which has had a good turnout. It's growing. There's about 8 to 10 people. We do that monthly. I've started some yoga classes there, and then I'm currently working with the neighborhood center that's in that designated area to work on some grants to get funding to improve their health and fitness center. So right now there's a lot of old equipment, and it would be great if we can update that. So that's what we're working on currently. But being at this internship has provided me with a lot of flexibility to kind of navigate different areas. I want a little more experience with grant writing, which I've been getting. I've been able to help out with the neighborhood initiative meetings, which is bringing in all the neighborhood residents and some of the major stakeholders to go over what's being done in the community and how can residents get more involved and what do residents want to see more of, and just working with those groups to kind of push out those resources that they have been looking for and seeking. My internship has been very similar to my Peace Corps experience, where I have supervision, but I also have full range to kind of go make my own connections in the community and find out what resources are already available and who's kind of doing what. So I've had a lot of flexibility there to just be creative, and so overall I feel like I've developed an incredible amount of leadership skills from this program, the ability to be adaptable and to just kind of navigate my way through the community and to kind of find my niche and figure out what the community needs. And over this last 6 months, I'll be working on a bunch of different projects that are in the making right now. So hopefully some good things will come from that. And and then I plan on graduating in May, and after that hopefully finding a job. I'm still pretty open because of that flexibility as to where I move to and the kind of work I do. I really enjoy community organizing and more of directing and kind of guiding people and supervising people as to what kind of things they can do. So overall, the Stevenson Center program has been a huge help in shaping my future, and I look forward to seeing where it goes, and I highly recommend taking advantage of the Stevenson Center if you are either looking at partnering for having fellows come to work for you, or if you are applying to be a graduate student. Everyone's just incredibly supportive, and I have learned a tremendous amount from there. Thank you for listening to me today, and if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact the Stevenson Center and they can put you in touch with me. Thank you and have a good day.